Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a recap of the Season 7 premiere of one of my favorite shows, Game of Thrones. An outstanding series that I've very much fallen in love with. Those of you that have made the comparison that I do a lot of my WWE content making it sound like Game of Thrones is because Game of Thrones does a very damn good job at what they do. Please note, I have a Bolton banner in the background, not because I am House Bolton, but because I wasn't able to get the House Targaryen banner that I would have liked to have gotten. But hey, Game of Thrones banner. I have another one in the bedroom. It's a House Martell for my husband. But let's get right on into the recap. And I absolutely recommend that if you have not watched Game of Thrones, if you did not watch last night's Season 7, or you're behind, know that I love you, but you really want to stop. You don't want to watch this, because I'm going to talk about everything I can remember, and I'm not really going to... I didn't take notes, because I was just enjoying the show as itself, and then later I came back and I was like, well, I should do this video. I should absolutely do this video, and I should absolutely talk about it, because everybody else is going to, and it's the day after, and it was kind of late anyway when they did it, so I'm just, throwing my stuff up on the internet. And I'm also going to be trying to edit footage from my husband's birthday. We took him out as a surprise to Genghis Grill, and for all of you who could not watch, who could not be there rather, for his birthday, you get to see it, and he got a lot of love, and we tried to make sure that this was a really, really great day for him, and we had a lot of fun. All of us did. Moving on, back to Westeros. Just as a quick recap, in the Season 6, Arya got to cross Walder Frey off her list, and she did so because she's become one of the faceless assassins, but she still very much retains her own self-identity, which I feel could be allegorical, but then again, what do I know? The next step for Arya was a peculiar one at that, to decide what to do next. I mean, she had many options. She had her entire list of names. If you remember her list, it was Joffrey, Sir Clegane, the Mountain. Walder Frey was obviously on that list. I think I said Joffrey, Cersei, Sir Clegane, the Mountain, the Hound, and she had a couple other ones, and I think Tywin Lannister was on that list. So obviously, upon hearing that Joffrey and Tywin are dead, she had taken the Hound off her list. So she had Clegane, Walder Frey, and Cersei still to kill. So she went out and she found a way to kill Walder Frey. So it's kind of, okay, well, where is she going next? Is she absolutely just going to go straight from House Frey to killing the queen with, and again, she has no, I feel like she doesn't know that Clegane is basically Frankenstein's monster now. Which, they got him some, they got some new sick armor for him. It's like, I thought he was kind of welded into the Kingsguard armor, the gold and the white and all that, but apparently not. So, it's at this point we open with Walder Frey sitting at a banquet table, you know, overlooking his banquet hall, and he's like, well, why would old Walder Frey do 2 feasts in a fortnight? You know, why would I be so generous? You know, why I've gathered together every Frey that, you know, I give a damn about. Every Frey that killed an innocent pregnant woman, killed a mother and her son, killed invited guests in their home. And before this, they had, you know, passed around the wine, the good wine. And it turned out that fucking Arya had stolen Walder Frey's face, put it on, and the one girl that had been right next to him, she was about to drink the wine. No, we're not about to waste good wine on a damn woman. At first, in my head, I had thought, okay, this is Walder Frey not realizing that he's dead. This is him in the afterlife. This is him about to relive it. And his entire family dies because this is torturous to him. And then it all just crumbles away. But it was Arya, and Arya killed the entirety of House Frey by her fucking self. And when she took the face off, because she just did it right after they were all dead, and it was just his wife and one of the serving girls in the room, and she takes the face off. She's like, when they ask what happened here, tell them winter came for House Frey. And she just fucking left. It's like, that's how you open a fucking season. Everybody die. Drop bodies. Then the mic. We go from that to, and I'm just gonna start going through what I really can recall. I believe we go from there to Jon Snow in the hall in Winterfell, and the discussion is what to do to shore up against the coming of the Night King. And Jon's saying, listen, we have to worry about finding dragon glass. We have to mine for it constantly. That's one thing we have to do. Every person between the ages of 10 and 60 is to start learning to use a sword, a bow, pike, shield, proper drills. And one of the old men's like, about time we teach these boys of summer how to properly fight. And then this has always been one of my favorite. I'm going to call her the little bear. Lady Mormont stands up and says, I will not. She basically says, get fucked, old man. Gender roles are fucking stupid in this. I'm gonna go defend my fucking house. Ain't not a person on the planet who can tell me otherwise, so get fucked. And I again, fucking loved it. It was great. It was just like, no, every man, woman, boy, and girl, 10 to 60, is going to be fighting. Because we need them all against the Night King's army of thousands. And then he's like, well, there's also the matter of the wall. There's a ton of castles along the wall that haven't been manned in centuries. And I'm not a king here. I'm not a king, really. I think that he's taken the moniker as King of the North, John has, and he's only accepted it because it's been placed upon him. He's only accepted it just like he only accepted Lord Commander because there was nobody else who would do it and nobody else who could do it. So that may be where we're at right now with that. Next, you have him talking about the Umbers and Karstarks, two of the noble houses that had flipped loyalty on him to House Bolton when they came through and routed what was left in Winterfell. And John made the point, Sansa was making the point that the punishment for treason should be that the Karstarks and the Umbers lose their lands and castles and all their titles, lose everything, and that somebody else be installed there. And John's point was, I can't very well punish innocent children or innocent sons for their father's sins. I can't do it. So he opted to have the Karstarks and the Umbers, what was left of them, their head of household swear loyalty to House Stark. Now, this then brings forth the interesting point of, does Jon Snow now consider himself a Stark? Because if he does, that can mean very interesting things later on, as some of my friends were talking about while we were trying to watch the first episode of season 6. Because I was just trying to get back into the Game of Thrones mood, as it were. So, you know, they both swear. And later on, it's basically like, listen, you can't challenge. It's Jon and Sansa walking along the ramparts, and Jon says, "Listen, you can't do that. What you just did. You can't do it. You do that, you undermine me. I'm supposed to be the king of the North. I can't have you questioning me like that in front of the lords and ladies." And she says, "Oh, so now nobody can challenge your authority." You know, Joffrey really hated it when people challenged his authority. He's like, "Am I really Joffrey?" "No, you're the farthest thing from it." Listen, I don't have a problem with you questioning me, but when I make a decision, I'm going to go with it. So that was kind of their conversation there, and I didn't hate it. And then they got the letter from, they got the raven from Cersei saying that she's now queen and that she wants Jon Snow to come to King's Landing and bend the knee. And bend the knee or suffer the fate of all traitors, is what she said, basically. And it's like, no, get fucked. Because I don't think that she can win this war. Excuse me. Tampico. Not a sponsor. But it was rather interesting to see that kind of play out. Like, they know that's kind of, hey, I'm reminding you I'm here. I'm a very real danger. But Jon's like, and that was even something Sansa said. She's like, listen, we can't have Cersei on our backs. We cannot. Can't be done. And Jon's like, well, I don't care about Cersei. Cersei's not the problem. Cersei's far in the south. If they ever decide they want to try and range this far north, the Lannister army is not built for it. They're gonna have a bad time. What we need to worry about really is the White Walker army coming this way. It is coming. I have seen it. It's not going to be pretty. Let's worry about that problem. And it's like, and there was even a point where, listen, Cersei's found a way. Everybody that's opposed Cersei, she's found a way to murder. Sansa straight up says it. And Jon says, it almost sounds like you admire her. She says, I learned a lot from her. Yeah, no, you had to. Forced learning. Not even a pretty learning. And I don't even think she took to heart a lot of the lessons that were to be learned there. But we go to a moment with Cersei and Jaime, and they are now in a new part of the Red Keep, where Cersei has had on the ground, on the stones, painted a giant map of Westeros. Just basically everything from the Wall on down to King's Landing and beyond. And she makes Jaime's there, and the old man painter looks up. He's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Okay, and he's gone. She's like, well, I am queen of the 7 kingdoms. And Jaime's like, 3 at best. Completely acknowledging that she's not gonna be in a great position, and she should know it. And to which she then says, well, I know. Enemies to the south, enemies to the east, enemies to the west, enemies to the north. We are surrounded on all sides by enemies. What are we going to do? It's like, well, winter will be upon us soon. If we're going to wage a war, we have to be able to feed our men and our horses. The Tyrells control the grain, the Tyrells control the livestock. It's... Nope. You're done. You should realize that you're fucked. That if you try to fight this war, you are going to lose. Because you don't have the resources to fight it. And he keeps trying to get her to see. It's like, listen, no. Yeah, to hell with everything else, but I want to live because this is going to kill us if we try it. She's like, well, we're the Lannisters that are alive. I don't know if you heard, but Tyrion has now been named Daenerys' hand. So your little brother, the one you love so much, the one you set free, traitor. Well, on that one, I really don't see what else he could have done. His entire house has been out to kill him except for Jaime. Tywin tried to kill him. Cersei tried to kill him. Joffrey tried to have him killed. Yeah, no. I could see that. None of his family, except for his brother, have any love for him, and therefore, fuck them all. Love you, bro. I don't want you to die, and I hope that when this comes round, you'll get the chance to, switch to my side. But the rest of you get fucked. So at this point, the captain of the King's Guard points out that Daenerys is coming a lot of ships with a Dothraki, an unsullied horde. Dothraki hordes, unsullied army, gonna land, gonna come here. Okay, well, where would they land? They'd land at Dragonstone, where she was born. It's the closest to, they have the deep water ports to accommodate all the ships. It's the best strategic landing for their army, and probably for Daenerys for her power, because she's a Targaryen, sitting in the seat of her house. It was her birthright to be there. So, going there, yeah, no, that's what's going to happen. We smash cut to the Citadel for a Sam section, which my husband was quick to point out. Why the fuck do we need to hear about Sam Tarly? Personally, I thought it was fine, because while not something I would have expected in the middle of this intrigue, in the later parts of that section and then the end, it really works out well. We go to the Citadel, we see Sam. He's now dressed in white. He is now, shelving books, and this is actually a montage cut after a while. It goes from shelving books, emptying bedpans, scrubbing bedpans, serving food. And every time they show the cleaning the bedpans, there's less and less of a reaction, but he still gags. Like when he's cleaning the bedpans or when he's dumping them out, you can see he's visibly nauseous by this. And no, I can't blame him. Cleaning up bedpans is nasty. That's not what you want to do. But, has to be done by somebody. Teach the rookies to keep themselves clean, to encourage a hardier constitution, almost. Because as a maester, you're going to be dealing with nasty stuff. So you got to be used to nasty stuff. And there's even a portion towards the end where I guess like he's cleaning up all the food bowls from the quarantine ward. But they show him shelving books after a little while, and you see this gate. And at first I was like, is this just in his head? And then my next thought was, no, that's the restricted section because you're an idiot. Yeah, no, I can be an idiot. The restricted section with a big ass gate that has gaps and bars and a locked door. So it's a wrought iron gate. Don't know about you, but I don't think I've seen a designed gate that, well, no, I can't say that. I was going to say that can't be opened from the inside without a key. So why not try and open it from the inside without a key? But then again, it didn't really have a doorknob, so... yeah, no. Good on you, James. See, this is what I get for not having coffee yet. I actually have a cup over waiting on me. But he actually figures out a way, cleaning up the bedpans, to get over to where a maester actually has a set of keys for the gate. Or he finds a maester that has a key for the gate, and he kind of memorizes him real quick and continues going. And then he asks the archmaester. He's like, "Listen, have you considered my proposal?" The archmaester's like, "I don't even remember your proposal." Well, considering my experience in the north, could I have access to the restricted section? He's like, "Listen, there's only one reason why you would be so insistent about finding information about White Walkers. It's because you really did see what you saw. That's the only explanation for your grating insistence that you go into this portion and see this thing, because you really did see it and it's really real. Oh, so you believe me? You'd be the first person south of the Twins that did. Well, We're not like people south of the Twins. And we're not like people north of the Twins. We are like nobody. See, Sam, what you have to remember about Maesters is we are here to be the living history of the world. We are here so that mankind is better than dogs, with no memory except your last meal and no thought of the future except for the next. Because when Aegon the Aegon Targaryen came, everybody's like, oh shit, it's the end, what's gonna happen? When the Mad King died, oh my god, it's the end, what's going to happen? How will we ever survive? When the long winter came, when the long night came, oh my goodness, whatever shall we do? This is going to be the end, and it could have been, but it wasn't. So, don't worry about it. Weigh the heart, and then clean this up. And he walks out. It's like, that is very much a telling thing that the Archmaester of the Citadel is like, no. You got to remember, you are not from where you are from anymore. So Sam sneaks over while he's changing the bedpans and the old maester's sleeping, and he steals the keys. He goes into the restricted section and he finds a book about, dragon glass, and he's trying to figure out something he can use to help Jon. This also then leads him, while he's reading, they show that little Sam and, God, I forgot her name, because she's not important. The girl, the wildling woman he saved, and the little boy that she had have grown up a bit, and he's trying to read this book. She's like, Sam, you need to sleep. The dead don't. I need to read this book. I really need to get into it because there could be something in here that would help Jon Snow. And I gotta help him. Because that's why I'm here. That's why I came here. I didn't just come here to become a maester. I came here because this is where the knowledge is that I need. And he actually finds it. He actually finds out that what Stannis had told him before was true. That beneath Dragonstone, there is an entire hoard of dragon glass. Tons of it. Just sitting beneath the earth, waiting. And that he really needs to tell Jon Snow. And then we smash cut to Daenerys landing at Dragonstone. And this is a very heavy scene, a very, very emotional scene, because you see her, she's in the longboat, she's got a few unsullied, she's got Tyrion and Varys and Melisandre, or Melisi, the translator from Marine. And she, she gets out of the boat. She's wearing this very nice regal robe. She gets out of the boat. She kneels on the ground, just takes in some of the sand from Dragonstone. She's home. She goes in, she goes up to the doors, the Unsullied open it for her. Nobody's there. She goes into the hall. She sees Stannis' banner, 1, still standing. Reaches up, tears it down. She goes into the throne room where, the dragon glass throne sits. And she passes it. She goes into the map room where the big table that has been carved into the shape of Westeros and some of the seas sit, and the little figures have lain knocked over, and there's a thick layer of dust covering the table. She runs her fingers over the sides as she walks up to the head, and she stands at the head of the table, and Tyrion is standing on her right he'd been looking at the dragon that was carved into the wall. She turns around, she looks over the table, both hands on the table. Shall we begin? Daenerys, I can appreciate, the emotion. I just would have thought, me being me, that after being on the boat for as long as they did, they would have turned the Dothraki loose. Get them off the boat. Just because they have crossed the Great Salt Ocean, the Great Poison Ocean, doesn't mean they want to. It doesn't mean they want to stay on the boat anymore. I would have thought, okay, get the army off the armadas, resupply, do everything you got to do, because you're going to go besiege King's Landing for the Iron Throne. The Umbers and Karstarks are now apparently fully behind House Stark rather than behind House Lannister, who only has, spoiler alert, the Greyjoys and the King of the Iron Islands, who says, he came here, and Jaime asked this question, he was like, well, why is he here? What's he doing? Oh, he's here for a queen. And the fucking shade between Jaime and Cersei and this guy was fucking epic. It's like, oh, yeah, no, I remember you. You killed your brother, didn't you? Yeah, it's invigorating. You should try it sometime. Oh, what have you got? I've only got my armada and 2 hands and my heart. I always wanted to marry the most beautiful woman in the world. Here I am. No, thank you. Oh, why? Because I don't trust you. You're not trustworthy. I mean, yeah, no, I could see that. Tell you what, I have always been told that the best way to a woman's heart is with a gift. Priceless gift. So I'll be back when I have one. This presents an interesting problem. Because on the surface, you take Cersei going, okay, I don't like this guy, and he wants my hand in marriage, and I really need his army. So that balances out. I'll do it, right? And then I'll arrange for him to be killed like I did Robert. But no, not here. She's like, no, fuck it. Be gone, you bore me. And this is where we also get to see the Mountain's new armor. I don't know if like they had intentionally done what they did with Clegane and the and his whole getup. He still has the face obscuring helm, so all you see is his eyes. You don't get to see like the bottom half of his face. He's still, you know, neck to ankle, neck to toe tip, encased in like black and silver metal now. So I guess whatever suit he was in before wasn't what was keeping him alive, but so much for that. Also in this one that was rather, you know, minor, not really anything important, was they actually showed the Hound and how he had caught up with that group of fire worshippers, and he's like, man, just my luck, I'd fall in with a bunch of fire worshippers, and it's snowing, and they come upon this farm. It's been abandoned. He's like, and at first I didn't recognize it. I'm like, this seems familiar. Why does this seem familiar? My husband didn't get it either at first, until they went inside, because like, I don't think the people wanted us here. Clegane's like, the Hound's like, I don't think they want us here. Well, there's nobody here, dude. Basically the response. Okay, so they go out there, they go in the little house, and they find two bodies. Little baby or toddler, and at first I thought it was a woman, but it was a man. So they get a fire going, you know, they're like, he's looking at, Hound's looking at the bodies. What do you think happened? Well, most likely it's a father and daughter. They were most likely starving. There's a knife at the feet, so he probably killed the little girl, then took himself out, ended it for both of them, rather than, you know, starve to death. And this is when my husband hit me with it. He's like, I know who those people were. I'm like, who? Way back in about season 2 or 3, when Arya was traveling with the Hound, the Hound extorted some farm people. He wanted 2 chickens and some ale and the gold they had, and he took it because he could. And I think this is what ended up leading to them, dying. So he obviously feels remorse about this because a little later, they've started a fire and they get him to look in the flames, and he actually has a vision like Melisandre would have. And he sees the White Walker army coming for the wall. And he now starts to believe in what they're talking about, about the Lord of Light. And a little later, you have him digging a grave. And one of the other guys gets up, he's like, "What are you doing?" "Burying the dead." Alright. So, Hound puts both bodies in, he starts shoveling. Guy sets his lantern down, puts his sword in the ground, gets another shovel, starts helping him. They finish, he's like, "May the Father preserve them, and the Mother..." Fuck it, I forgot the rest. Throw it down. "You didn't deserve this. You deserved better." He buried him. And he felt remorse. This is good character development. But that was season 7, episode 1, Game of Thrones. I'm Robert the Coroner Drapp, saying thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Until next week.